Everyday vocabulary. Channel 3's Steve Handelsman has a special report on how the bodybuilding drugs can create mental illness and deadly disease.
I tore the house apart, ripped the house apart, yelling and screaming.
I was just waiting to go off. You know, anything set me off, and I mean anything.
Just three simple words: out of control. He's out of control.
If anyone knows about the dangers of anabolic steroids, 26-year-old Adam Fratazio knows. He began taking the drugs at age 18, and right away the change was dramatic. But the male hormones were literally driving Adam insane.
Delusions of grandeur, walking into a supermarket and staring at skinny people and being mad because they're buying food and they're taking food away from me that I could possibly be buying, and being mad because this guy's legs are skinny and he should be squatting, and I'd go up to him and I'd say, "How can you walk with those legs in this supermarket?" and things like that.
Adam wrecked the family house when he thought his mom and others were hiding his knee wraps.
He was very, very angry. That was the worst thing. And anything could really set him off.
Like the time two of Adam's brothers were lazy at a workout.
He hit us with a wiffle ball, heavy plastic wiffle ball bat, until we were bruised.
The steroids were, in fact, responsible.
Harvard psychiatrist Harrison Pope says in Adam and in about 1/3 of all steroid users, no telling which ones, the drugs cause uncontrollable rages.
All the way up to very severe aggression, to the point of violence.
As more and more teenage boys try steroids, 6% in the latest survey, that violence has earned a nickname, roid rage.
I beat him in the face about 5 times and threw him to the plate glass window. And I was trying to go out the window to beat him some more.
Anybody that said or did anything that I did not care for, I simply leashed out against with violence. That's how I dealt with everything.
And serious emotional problems aren't the only dangerous side effect faced by kids who use steroids. Here at the University of Maryland, there's been a link found between steroids and heart disease. Dr. Ben Hurley discovered dangerously high blood cholesterol in young men who'd taken steroids just 1 month.
They're significantly elevating their risk to having an early instance of heart disease, perhaps a heart attack.
21-year-old merit scholar Tim Huck dropped dead of a heart attack last April. Huck played football for Olivet College in Michigan. Police found steroids in his room in the dorm where he died. And Dr. Gary Ferencik says the drugs caused Huck's heart attack.
I believe he would still be alive today if he was not taking anabolic steroids.
Teenagers hear about the Tims and about the Adams, but the scary stories are not dissuading more and more young athletes from trying steroids.
The kids are going to do it anyways. If they have a shot, they're going to do it anyways. It's like drinking. It's like smoking. If the kid really wants to do it, he's going to do it.
Adam Fratazio's 18-year-old brother is a good athlete, so last month, despite all he knows about the dangers, Adam put his brother on anabolic steroids. In Boston, this is Steve Handelsman, Channel 3 News.
Tomorrow we find out where steroids are made and how they are smuggled past the U.S. government doing little to stop their movement.
Huge quantities of the bodybuilding drugs are smuggled into the country. Channel 3's Steve Handelsman has the story.
The most common way is to send it U.S. mail.
The steroids that I sold were from Mexico.
Tijuana, Mexico is more than a tourist trap. It is steroid central. The pharmacies here stock big supplies of famous name anabolic steroids right on the shelves for sale to anyone.
I'd like a bottle of the testosterone and a bottle of the Dianabol, please.
In the U.S., you'd need a prescription for the muscle-building drugs, but not here.
1 bottle of injectable steroids and 1 bottle of steroid pills, perfectly legal. Okay.
The steroids appear to be from the U.S., Switzerland, and Germany. But American officials say this factory outside Tijuana, Milano Laboratories, actually produces and packages the drugs and is the source of most illicit steroids sold in the U.S.
Yeah, they're made up to look like legitimate either European or U.S. manufactured steroids. obviously, to meet the demand. People who want this stuff want to use legitimate manufactured steroids.
U.S. Customs agent Ken Ingleby says the drugs are true steroids, but there's no telling their purity or strength. The man who runs Milano Labs is Juan Maclis. Under U.S. indictment for steroid trafficking, he remains in Tijuana, where he's protected. Outside the steroid plant, this Mexican federal policeman showed up, called Maclis his boss, and tried to stop us taping.
No.
For major steroid buyers, Maclis runs a sales outlet in this high-rise, on the 4th floor in an office suite with a buzzer and peephole. TV cameras are not welcome.
Okay, we got them both coming out, looks like.
This U.S. Customs surveillance tape shows how large a shipment Milano Labs can deliver. It's a felony, but getting steroids across the border into the U.S. is easy. This crossing point is the busiest in the world. No way inspectors can check every car. Drug dogs like Rex cannot sniff for steroids, and few smugglers get caught.
People are being paid to bring across young girls driving cars, guys with surfboards.
Bill was a major Southern California steroid wholesaler. Once he got drugs across the border, he simply mailed them to dealers in boxes like this one.
I've never known anybody that even had a package opened or anything.
Prosecutors say 25-year-old Steve Lauer is the kind of local dealer who gets boxes of steroids made in Tijuana. They seized Lauer's alleged stash in Denver last month and said some of the $500,000 in steroids he sold may have gone to kids he met teaching gym at Thornton and North Glen high schools. Problem is, major seizures like this one are rare. Even though Congress this fall increased the jail term for steroid selling and possession, spokesman John Bolton admits the feds in recent years have actually locked up just 20 people.
Part of the problem is that we're still learning just how great the use of steroids is, and at this point it's difficult to project exactly where we might be a year from now.
But of course, while the U.S. government looks for ways to fight back, steroids continue to flood across this U.S.-Mexican border, bound for kids in Cleveland. In Tijuana, Mexico, this is Steve Handelsman, Channel 3 News.
As you saw in that report, young people are in the news a lot lately, and for the wrong reasons. Dick Fegler says it is not their fault.